Siegel, and I'm Stamford for inviting me today. I work with Pavarini Construction. We're construction managers, and I'm involved with Sustainable Stamford with Rob and Steve and Diane over here. And we're now working on the new Nestle headquarters project, which is on Long Ridge Road, and that's going to be LEED Silver. And we're involved with our construction company now recycling of materials. So we actually take the ceiling tile and you put that in one cabinet and in one cart. You then take the carpeting, you put that in another one. You put the metal frames, you put that in another one. And you'd be surprised. I don't quote me, but I think we're already up to 80% recycling of materials. So what I wanted to talk today a little bit was about green building. And for those of you who don't know what green buildings are, those are buildings that are a little bit more energy efficient, water efficient, and have better indoor air quality. And also LEED, if anyone doesn't know LEED means Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, which is basically a scorecard. It's like a nutrition label or a baseball card. Oh, you have better energy, you get another check. So that's what green building is, and I want to talk to you a little bit more about that. I also want to talk a little today about sustainability in terms of the three pillars of sustainability. There's the environmental one, which we're discussing, but there's also a social justice one. Now here, in this it shows the park being enveloped by the water. But if you're in in Africa, or South America, or the Maldives, or something like that, you're basically losing your continent, you're losing your country. And a lot of those people who do that are poor people. A lot of people who are in those situations are people of minorities. And there's a true social justice element. And the last component, which I get involved heavily with, is the economic component. And that's something that you had mentioned earlier about those larger powers, if you will. It's innovations brought to a point where people are actually making money. And, well, then some things are going to change. I have a feeling I'm speaking to the choir here, humanistic people, but a lot of people don't change unless there's a stick. I have a feeling that you threw out your refuse and those beds were clear, and you got fined $500 for not recycling, I know that you'd be recycling. And I know if gas was $6 a gallon, you wouldn't be running to the mall as much. Because at that time, there's a penalty for that. So we can talk more about innovation and how people can make money. And then the last thing, this is really important. It's very easy to get disenchanted when you hear that China is building, don't quote me, 2 power plants a week. China is the biggest emitter of CO2. Just, so let's say they're 20%. The U.S. is 20%, but we're only 5% of the population. Their population is 4 to 5 times as much of us. And if you put China and India together, that's a huge amount of population. And you figure, you're going to drive your Prius. Is that really going to make a difference with all these coal plants? And they deserve to have cars there also. So that's why I want to talk to you about innovation. We may be able to help in what we do, but eventually I'm hoping that there are going to be machines that actually suction CO2 out of the air. There's something called biomimicry, which basically emulates nature and photosynthesis, and they're figuring a way how to make trees like that. So I have a feeling that we can do a lot in terms of the environment, but I'm hoping that we have a little bit of that boost and boom of the innovation to help us. CO2 is getting worse. I just heard, that now with the acidification of the oceans from the CO2, forgetting about whether we do global warming or not, I have no idea if CO2 is causing global warming. I know that we're more polluted, and I know that there's more litter out there, and I know that the oceans are more polluted. I don't know if we're the ones who's actually directly affecting climate change, but I can tell you that the additional CO2 is really killing off the oceans, and that's going to, and once the ecosystem is ruined, everything gets destroyed. You've now maybe heard about new fungal bacteria that's in the air or something, where people are getting respiratory things. We're getting new diseases that we don't have, the word is allergens, because it's never been through humanity before. Everything shifted. A little bit. I didn't know I was going to speak about all this.
Represent the Connecticut Energy Efficiency Fund through Northeast Utilities. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank Diana for inviting me. I've never been here to this facility or to this park, and it's beautiful. It's very nice here. And the Connecticut Energy Efficiency Fund runs multiple programs to help folks save energy. We have residential programs as well as small business and commercial programs. We run workshops at schools. We do train-the-trainer programs where we teach trainers how to teach energy efficiency and energy conservation to their students, starting with kindergartners. We figure, the children are our future, and that's a great place to start teaching energy efficiency right then and there. So I was hoping to talk a little bit about some of our programs and field any questions about why CLNP, a utility company, might be promoting energy efficiency.
Tell us about one program right now.
Well, our biggest program, probably our most popular program, would be our in-home energy service. And I already know a little bit about that, since he's with one of the companies that performs the service for us, where we send a contractor into a residence. This is a residential program only, to pressurize the home and to look for leaks, take care of as much as they can on site, doing caulking, installing weather stripping, providing the energy efficient contact fluorescent light bulbs, checking insulation, swapping out the shower heads to low flow shower heads, and installing aerators on the faucets, and installing some pipe insulation as well. And we have a bunch of rebates that are only available through the program as well, for things like refrigerators and then larger appliances like HVAC systems. And we also do things like ductless heat pumps. We're advocating that. Ducts are a great source of energy loss. So a ductless heat pump is another way to be more efficient about the energy and still maintain your comfort level, but doing it much more efficiently.
But who actually would pay then for those upgrades in the home? I mean, if you were to go into the house and put energy on, this person needs to have the windows replaced because they're just...
What's the cost of energy audit?
The audit is a $75 copay. This year we've been given some leeway to adjust the prices, so we've had coupons out there. Right now, for Earth Day events, we have a $25 coupon, so the audit would be only $50. And as far as the cost of items, what's done in the home by the contractor that we send, that's subsidized by the fund, and the fund comes from your utility bills. We're fuel blind now, so both gas customers and electric customers in the United Illuminating and Connecticut Light and Power territories are paying that on their bills every month.
But there really isn't a mechanism right now in place. So that there's a low-income home where windows need to be replaced. It really isn't financing for that right now.
We actually have a low-income program called RAP. It's a legislation service for low-income folks. It's free if they meet the income guidelines. And windows, they do a lot.
They will replace windows and doors and security level thing.
Yeah.
Installation, you'd be amazed at the stuff they'll get rid of.
Yeah,
if they qualify.
Right, exactly.
And for homes that don't qualify, is there a program for that?
That's the in-home energy service that we have the assessment, which is the $75 copay.
But then if the investment needs to be made, but that's on the homeowner.
That's on the homeowner, but there are normally, there are a lot of rebates and incentives through us as well as through the state and the government to help out with some of those costs. The whole idea behind the fund is to get folks, to incentivize folks to take an extra step. So if you were planning on replacing your windows anyway or replacing your refrigerator anyway, we want to help you out, help you make that extra step and get a really energy efficient refrigerator, an Energy Star refrigerator, and at least double pane windows. So that's where we're trying to